Hello, Scorpio. My name is NiJiLL. You have found alchemy. Welcome to your June 2025 reading. Okay, so let's get started. We pre-pulled these cards. I don't know if you watched the shuffle and the layout, but these were already pulled, and they're from your spring reading. So as promised, we re-pulled them so we could expand upon whatever insight we got from that reading. I will summarize this for you in case you didn't listen to it, or in case you did and you just don't remember that was months ago. You have stability, harmony, and flow here, and a few other cards. So let me pull this first. You do have the Eight of Cups. And this is a pure water card, at least in this deck, right? That's the only astrological, it's not even an astro, it's the only correspondence, the only elemental correspondence attached to this particular card. Now, the next step, all right, this person is walking away from something that was an extremely difficult thing to walk away from. As you can see, he's not even bringing the clothes on his back. He just sort of feels done. And the next step after this is the Nine of Cups. And we know the Nine of Cups is the wish card. So it is presumed that this person is walking from a situation that no longer suits them, or a situation that's disturbing to them, or that held them back or held them down, to a better situation, leaving past disappointments behind. Now, this could be like that. This could be a physical journey away from something, away from a job, away from a family, away from a relationship, or it could be a mental journey of you have had enough. You're walking away from what was, or what has been up until this point, in lieu of something better and healthier for you. Please focus. Thank you. And yeah, so we do have this stability and harmony card with it. And when I see that, along with what we just spoke about, I can't help but think that you are really wanting to walk towards the harmony, towards the stability. You want things to flow better, for sure. It is a confusing time. This is a darker card as far as, coloring goes. You see the moon over there. But here you have, to drive this kind of point home a little bit, you have the moon card, backing this up, right? And the moon is Cancerian energy, but, more than that, it is, things may not be very clear to you. You may feel a certain way. You may want to pull away. You may want to walk away. You may want to just simply walk away from the dynamic you are in now into a better dynamic. And like I said, this could be a job, or relationship, or a partnership in some way, okay? Now, the moon also talks about intuition, feeling things clearly that may not be seen very clearly, but you feel them, right? And now the advice, excuse me, I don't mean the advice. You have the Hermit, and this is interesting. This is Virgo energy, and two major arcana. So in some ways, this is an important journey for you. It's an important lesson. It's an important time. But you have the card of Virgo carrying that wish. Like, as you can see, he is inside his lantern carrying the star of Aquarius, and Aquarius represents the wish, the blessing, the thing that you want most, carrying that as you move into the future. The lantern is for seeing just a few feet in front of you, because it is a rather dark path he's on. But he's holding that lantern up and he's saying, I have a wish, I have a dream. I'd like to light up my path, even if it's just a few feet, because at least I'll know where I'm going. I may not know where the end is, but I know where I'm going right now. Yeah, you have a Azure advice card. You have the King of Pentacles here in reverse, and the King of Pentacles is Sun in Taurus energy. I'm sorry this keeps unfocusing. This is something that I have to do sometimes for this camera. It really drives me crazy. So you have the King of Pentacles here for your advice. And it means many things in many readings, but I have to tell you, there may be an unbalance present here. And maybe that's why you feel dissatisfied, or you feel right? You want to move from where you're at to stability. And this might mean there is instability, because the King of Pentacles is a very stable sign. It's a stable archetype. It's a stable energy. When he's in reverse, it could be something that you're feeling. There may be some imbalances present, right? But with that flow card, it's what you want. You want things to be better. I mean, right? You just want them to be easier. And we add this up and we break it down, we get Neptune energy. It's Piscean energy for sure. And Piscean Neptune energy is confusing energy. Perhaps you looked at this situation, whether it's a job or a relationship. Initially, you might have looked at it with rose-colored glasses, and you're like, this is going to be great. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to plan this. This job is going to take me here. This job is perfect for me, whatever. Initially, there were rose-colored glasses involved, and the disillusionment is starting to set in this situation here, Scorpio. Now, let's look at your overarching cards. This is not going to be easy to pick up, therefore I will not pick it up. It just will wreck the whole thing. Let me see if I can find my pointer. You do have the Lovers here, and that's, it's a sign of, it is the card of Gemini, and as you know, we're in Gemini season here in June, at least for most of the month. So this could be indicative of a season. You could have Gemini highly aspected in your chart. Your loved one or somebody else could have Gemini highly aspected in their chart. But I have to tell you, regardless, this is a partnership. And this card, I never take the overarching cards in reverse, but I take note of them when they come in reverse. And this card came in reverse originally. If you don't believe me, you can go back and look, right? And so this may have had some, you may have some tough choices on the horizon. There may be, like we talked about, that imbalance, right? It could be an imbalance, and if this is a job, you taking on way too much work, and somebody else or the rest of your team being, or maybe it's just a time of flux where you need the extra help. They haven't found you the extra help, but there is an imbalance going on. And if this is a relationship, it's the same thing. There is lack of flow, lack of harmony, and imbalance. You may feel you're giving certain things or you're expecting certain things and you're not getting them. So there could be that. You also have the yellowing here. And this is number 14 in this deck. And this indicates a transition. Envision the yellow as pages of like an old book, right? That old book is transitioning from a book to an antique, or the leaves, right, in the fall, turning that yellow-orange color. It is the beginning of something, and it's also the end of something. It's that transition. It's the start of something new, and it is a return to zero. And I have to tell you, this Eight of Cups card looks like that to me when he or she is walking naked away from a situation. You have here the Castle, and the Castle is number 43 in this deck. And the Castle is the tendency to hold on to possessions or positions or people, right? Something that you feel safe, you feel like it's safer to stay in a situation than it is to leave, right? So there may be a struggle going on there. At times we feel we must settle down, yet the Castle sort of lulls us with its spell, right? What did I say? Rose-colored glasses. It's a spell of safety. The Castle can be motivating in some ways, at least initially, but don't become seduced into settling. And it's a very Neptunian card, and we talked about Neptune here, right? It's not everything is as it seems. Not everything is as it seems. I think you're starting to see that with a job or a situation right now. Now, you have, should I do the charms for? No, I'm going to do this first. You have, all right, well, let's start here. You have somebody walking a tightrope here and trying to figure out, like you see the heart on one side, the mind on the other, trying to balance those two things. My mind is saying one thing, my heart is saying something else. I don't know what to do. Logically, I know what to do, but in this situation, I'm torn, right? There is that disharmony. I'm torn. I don't know what to do. You have the ghost ship here. And it's odd. The ghost ship is hardly ever gets pulled. It's a very specific card. And there was another sign in this series that pulled it. I just don't remember who it was off the top of my head, but it's interesting that two people pulled it in 1 month. But you do have the ghost ship. Now the ghost ship is what? The ghost ship is an unmanned ship. It's a ship that is moving through the water, and it either has ghosts on it, things that were, right? Things that come from your past that are no longer, but there's remnants, there's footprints of them, or it's something that's completely empty. Did it ever really have a crew? Nobody knows. You come across the ghost ship and it's eerie. So there may be something that's going on in your life where you feel, again, overwhelmed because you're the only one doing the work. There is no crew. You're supposed to be a team, whether this is a relationship or a work situation. You're supposed to be a team, but all the work seems to be dumped on you, and your heart and your mind are struggling in this situation for sure. In your charms here, you have, and it's weird, a lot of people have been pulling this charm this month too. You have the book slash movie 1984, and it is upside down. And I don't know if you've read the book or watched the movie. It's about a totalitarianism. I cannot say the word. I don't know what it is. I just can't. I have like a thing that blocks me from saying it correctly. You kind of know what I'm talking about though, right? It is a breakdown. It's sort of like it's a book movie on propaganda. I mean, listen, I'm oversimplifying this. But there's mind control involved. There's games involved. There's control in general involved. Very controlling atmosphere. People feel like sort of automations walking through their life, right? You could be in a forbidden love situation too. That could be for one of you. But there is a situation here that somebody may feel controlled. Somebody may feel like there's no control for them. Somebody may feel like they're being placated. It could be like that very, very much. You have the star here, and I love that because that is the star that the Hermit is carrying, and this is the star of protection. So you're protected here, Scorpio, and there is Aquarius all over this reading. I mean, at least so far. It seems very airy, too, with the Gemini there. But this is an Aquarius stone, and a wish that you carry with you. There is something you really want out of this job, out of this relationship, out of this situation. You want something. You've always wanted something. You felt in the beginning that you were going to get what you want. You don't feel that way this month. I mean, you go back and forth, right? You do have the number 9 here on the die. And, you know, the number 9 is actually a Virgo month, if you want to look at it that way. So you may be dealing with a Virgo. But don't get too hung up on the signs until we do your numerology. I'll rattle off all the signs that are actually showed up in the reading. But you do have the number 9 here, and the number 9 is Mars Aries energy, right? What is Mars Aries energy? It's passion. It's anger. It's everything hot, whether it's hot sex, or whether it's a hot argument, a couple of hotheads, right? Could be that. The number 9 also is an energy of almost being done, because number 10 would be the culmination, especially for a Scorpion, right? Because number 10 is Pluto energy. Number 10 is the culmination, the finishing of something, the moving on to something else. So you are very comfortable in 10 energy, and you may feel it's this close. I feel so close to what I want, but it's elusive to me for some reason. You're feeling that way. You have the letters F, K, Z, and O. This could be someone's initials. This could be you know, the city, state, street name, restaurant, anything like that. Okay, that's going to be pertinent to you this particular month. So keep that in mind here as you go about your month, please. Now, moving on to this side, let me just pick all of these up. You have not afraid of hardships, it says. Confront challenges with courage, for they're stepping stones for growth and wisdom. You have the ability here to turn this around if you approach it, if you confront the challenge head on, whatever it is this is. All right, this could be, like I said, a job situation. You need to solve the problem, confront the challenges, and don't be afraid to rock the boat. Because at least one of you may be afraid of that. It says journey. You may move to a new place for work or travel. Exploring the world gives you the experience you need to succeed. Yes, I do think that for most of you, this could be true, but I do think that for most of you, this is an internal journey, right? It's that 8 of Cups energy. Some of you could be contemplating walking away from this situation, right? That's your journey. Some of you could be going inward with this Virgo energy and saying, you know, I need to really figure this out. Spirit is trying to tell you, don't be afraid of hardships. Confrontations can be hardships. They could feel like they're not worth it sometimes. You do have nightclub, dance floor, neon lights. This is something you could be experiencing this month, going to a nightclub, letting your hair hang out, like going out, having fun, which I totally suggest, especially with all this Aries energy you have. And you have Apple, and it says wisdom, death, sexuality, and joy. And this is definitely my card of Scorpio. This is all the things that make Scorpions Scorpions. You are apples for sure, right? So this is death and rebirth energy, but it's also sexuality. And what did we say about that number 9, right? There's passion involved. You do have some passion on the table this month. You have underlying issues on the table this month as well, okay? You have these cards here. Let's look. You have the card of Jupiter. It says optimism, growth, and opportunity. And there may be parts of you here, because of this imbalance, this back and forth, there may be parts of you that do feel very optimistic. It's also pays to, and it's the card, it is the planet of Sagittarius. I should mention that. Jupiter enters Cancer, right, this month. The planet of luck and optimism moves into the caring, sweet sign of Cancer. And it's telling you to dive deeply into your feelings over the next few months, because it's going to be there until the end of the year. Basically, Spirit is sticking your nose in the situation, saying, figure it out. You're going to have to figure out how you feel. You're going to have to figure out what you want to do. And you're going to have to confront whatever needs to be confronted, I should say. You do have supermoon, luminosity, intimacy, and hyper awareness. Now, the supermoons are generally in the fall, but that is in and of itself Scorpio season. So there may be something that stretches into the fall from this reading, but there is intimacy and luminosity and sex and nightclubs and stuff like that on the table as well. So take that for what it's worth. You do have here Taurus in the second house, finances, value, possessions. So yes, for some of you, if this is a love situation, it could include finances for some reason. Maybe the two of you have your finances entangled. If this is a work situation, there's no doubt that, it could be affecting the relationships in your life, because there could be an imbalance at work. You could be so stressed out that you have no room, for all that stuff. You do have Aries again, and this is number 1 in this deck. Yeah, Aries. Now, it's Mars energy. What did we say about Mars, right? It's passion, it's anger, it's motivation, it's fire. As far as fire, it's the top of the food chain, okay? So yeah, you're going to be experiencing a lot. And with the head and the heart thing, walking that tightrope, wondering if the ship even ever had a crew. Am I here alone? Am I here alone? But you're going to have this interlude. You're going to have interludes of sex. I mean, I don't know how else to put it, right? There's some sexual chemistry here on the table, and it's total. It has Scorpio written all over it. You also have that Gemini energy of being, especially in reverse, being imbalanced. There's something not balanced. Maybe it's your work life and your love life. Maybe it's your relationship that's out of whack, out of balance, that you need to really look at here, Scorpio. Okay, down here below, we have our 3 legs. I've cut your month into thirds. And yes, they can come out of order, because as we know, tarot is not a science, right? So yeah, people message me the last leg came first. Sure, that could happen. So don't depend on the timing as much as the information. Okay, Scorpio, you do have on your first leg Epiphany and breakthrough. So it does look like this month you're going to have that. You're going to have an epiphany. You're going to have a breakthrough, even if it is something within your own head, how to proceed in this situation. You're going to figure it out somehow. But moving on, for your tarot, you have the first, it says the 10 of Wands in reverse. The 10 of Wands is Jupiter in Sagittarius energy. And as we know, the 10 of Wands in reverse is the release of stress, right? Because it's a very stressful card. It's work. So I think at some point you're going to either release the expectation that you have to get everything done by yourself, or the stress itself is going to be released. Maybe, I mean, there's nightclub, there's dancing. Maybe you go out and you make sure you release that stress. There could very well be that as well. You have the Hanged Man in reverse. And the Hanged Man is pure Pisces energy, and that's that Neptunian energy we talked about. You could be, I think on this leg with this in reverse, I do think that there may be something that you were sacrificing here, Scorpio, and it could have been, your personal life. It could, if this was a work situation, too much of your valuable time. You could have been, if this was a relationship, you could have been sacrificing something that you really felt is important to you. And someone's diminishing that and saying, that's not important. What's wrong with you? Or, hey, not really taking it seriously like they should. And what I love about this is this ends with the Death card. And definitely in a Scorpion reading, this is an amazing card to end this leg with, because I think you come to grips with something. And, it is a Scorpio power card for sure. New beginnings, certainly the end of something. Now, does it have to be the end of the relationship? No. It could be the end of a thought process. It could be the end of someone being a pain in the ass. It could be the end of a work situation overwhelming you with that. There is a release of stress for sure. Even if it is just one leg, we don't know yet, but that's what this leg is, right? Releasing old pattern. Have you been doing more than most people or at work? Have you been doing more than your partner in this relationship? Scorpio, you're going to experience some sort of an epiphany this month for some reason here. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Saturn energy, lessons, right? Saturn is the planet of karma. It's Aquarius, Capricorn energy, yes, but it is the planet of karma, right? Lessons that you had to learn, lessons that are very important for you to learn if you're going to move on from this stage, which it looks like you really want to. Also, it does pay to note that the Hanged Man and Death are consecutive cards in consecutive order in this reading. So you could definitely go from the Hanged Man energy to the Death card, right? It is the natural steps to headed straight for an epiphany. I really like that energy. In other words, things are happening the way they should happen on this leg. Now, moving on to your second leg, it says self-love, creation, intentions. What are your intentions for yourself? Have you been practicing self-love? Have you been sacrificing too much for the cause, for the person, for the relationship? It's something that you're going to, it looks like you're going to create something new. And new between the two of you, perhaps, new without this person, new within this job, perhaps a brand new job. I mean, it's going to be something new, but you have Temperance here in reverse, and this is the card of Sagittarius. But somebody's tired of being patient. Somebody's tired of being well balanced, of being the one that always gives in, of being the one that needs to have just this much more patience. Like, somebody's tired of it, all right? And they sort of release that energy. And you have as your center card, the Three of Wands in reverse. Now, we know the Three of Wands is Sun in Aries, more Aries energy, but it's frustration, right? It is a frustrating card because you're trying to manifest something and you can't. And it really does lead me to believe that it is this other thing, whether it's this job or this person that's preventing this blessing, right? Preventing this manifestation, frustration. They want to make you want to make progress, right? You want to bring larger goals into your life. But I think one of the keys here is to break those big goals up into little ones, at least for this time. You do have the King of Swords coming in sideways, and that is Sun in Aquarius energy, right? More Aquarius energy. But this is a decision you're going to make on this leg. And I feel bad if for whoever is on the receiving end of this, unless you decide to turn it right side up. And I'm not telling you what to do, because this sideways cards means that you, Scorpio, have to make this decision. The King of Swords upright, the Master of Reason, right? Decisive, impartial, balanced, fair. The King of Swords in reverse, manipulative, angry, critical, emotional, indecisive, very, very sharp with his mouth, sharp with his tongue, so you could go either way here. And it's going to depend on, you're trying to love yourself, and you're also trying to love something else, and it's doing this, right? So you're going to decide whether to unleash this on someone, and I feel bad for them, whoever they are, if you decide to sort of go no filter here. But we add this up, we break it down, we get Saturn again. So this is a month of lessons, like it or not, okay? Definitely. Now here on your last leg, you have more air energy. There's a lot of air here, right? You could have air highly aspected in your chart, especially with the lovers here and all this Aquarian energy. But it's a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius here is on the table. And you have the you have the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius, but more than that, let me tell you, this is really hot. It's a burst of energy, passion, prowess, right? A surge of energy. It could be very highly sexual energy somehow. It is very highly sexual, okay? There's male sexual energy here on the table. You have the 2. I was going to say the 2 of Cups in reverse, Venus in Cancer energy. And man, you go, and this, remember when I said there was this thing of you feeling all this passion and you swinging from that to anger, swinging from that to fighting? It seems like you're experiencing that because you have the 2 of Cups here in reverse, imbalances in a relationship, kind of like the Lovers in reverse, what we talked about way at the beginning of the reading, right? Swings from one extreme to the other, disharmony mixed with this hot sexual energy, right? There's your Knight of Wands, and you have the 8 of Pentacles closing out this leg, and the 8 of Pentacles is Mercury and Virgo energy, but more than that, it is lack of motivation after all this crap, right? You could be you could be reconsidering working on something. You could be reconsidering dedicating all this time to this job or to this person. There's a reconsideration. You're really giving this a lot of thought, definitely, for sure. I could see this being Gemini energy. Gemini swing from one extreme to the other sometimes, right? Geminian, 2 sides, 2 things going on at once, definitely. When we add this up, that we break it down, we get your energy. We get Pluto energy. 10 is a power number to you, but it is endings and it's beginnings and it's choices you're going to make this month. Now let's look at your challenges. You do have a chat. It says closed off, guarded, and resistant. You or the person you are dealing with or the job you are dealing with may be very guarded and resistant to change. And that will make it all the more frustrating for you. You have the Sun here. I like that energy, but it's in your challenge column, right? It's Leo energy. To get the happiness, the ups and downs may be a challenge, right? It's like you get a moment of happiness and then 3 moments of bickering, or you get a moment of happiness in your private life and then 3 days of ridiculously hard, unbearable work. So there is something going on here with that. You have the 5 of Cups as a challenge, and the 5 of Cups is Mars and Scorpio energy, focusing on the good or the bad instead of the entire thing, right? This person is focused on the bad things in the front. Every once in a while, he'll turn around, he'll see these cups that are the good things, and he goes from forward to backward. Instead of looking at everything, he's looking at just extremes almost, right? Living in the extremes. You have the 2 of Swords in reverse, the Venus and Libra energy, removing that blindfold. Coming out of a stalemate energy is going to be difficult, but you could do it. It'll be a challenge, but you can do it. When we add this up and we break it down, we get Saturn yet again. My God, Saturn is all over this reading, right? Lessons, karma, things, the culmination, hard work, all that stuff that Saturn represents. Now, looking at your opportunities, you have the opportunity for a detour, for divine intervention. Definitely. You have the opportunity, in other words, to turn this around if you really want to. You have the Page of Swords, and the Page of Swords is Mercury and Gemini energy, and it's a call to action, right? Being vigilant. You can see he's standing there holding his sword, right? It's not a huge thing, but it is there. Being on your guard, waiting for that message to come through. But you have here the Queen of Swords reversed. Oof. The Queen of Swords reversed is Saturn and Libra energy, and it is in need for that page. You're at some point this month, you're going to be an angry queen, whether you're male or female. Okay, you're going to be an angry queen, and that is going to be something that needs to happen. If that makes sense to you, you're going to go from the Page to the Queen, and the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords in reverse is even worse than the King of Swords in reverse. Okay? And definitely, it's tough love. It's removing the filter and saying, hey, this, that, and the other thing, you know? But it is an opportunity for you to clear the air. And you have here a call to action with the Four of Swords in reverse. And boom, you have swords in your opportunities column over and over and over again. What is that? That's air energy. Yeah, there's air all over this reading, but this is a detour that needs to happen in order for you to move on to the next level, whatever that is for you here, Scorpio. If this is a job, enjoy that interlude, by the way. But if this is a job, maybe you need to voice your opinion about being overworked. If this is a relationship, same thing. You need to sort of voice your opinion. For Scorpio, June 2025. Wow. Aquarius again. Remember when I said way at the beginning there's Aquarius all over this reading? Here it is again. It says you are being faced with two options. You can continue to live in safety, or you can step into the unknown and grow. What do we talk about this castle? Don't be lulled into a secure place because it's a perception. That safety is a perception. Okay? Wow. Aquarius. Aquarius energy again. I can't wait to do your numerology. Can't wait to do that. I bet that's going to be interesting. For Scorpio, please, for June, you have I am imaginative. It says, you are an original, and I would say that's true of most Scorpions for sure. Innovative thinker and excellent communicator. Yes, you are when you're not a bitch. And I have to tell you, I've seen Scorpios when they are in bitch mode. Not pretty, but sometimes necessary. Sometimes the people on the other side, the job on the other side, whoever that is, needs to hear your unfiltered whatever. It says, a great talent for using creativity to convey your ideas, and your optimistic attitude has uplifting effect to others. I am imaginative. Number 3, this is breaking down to a number 3, and that is Jupiter energy again. Okay. When we add all this up and we break it down, we get the number 4. And the number 4 is Uranus energy. It's Aquarius energy again. And you have to tell me how Aquarius factors into this. It definitely does, even if it is just the energy of Aquarius. What is the energy of Uranus? It is unexpected change. And this unexpected change might be coming from you and your mindset this month. Something might trigger that. The number that was talked about the most is number 8, which is Saturn energy. And that is the other ruling planet of Aquarius. Yes, it rules Capricorn too, but it also rules Aquarius. And I think that it just pays to note that. The planet that we spoke about the most in this reading was Saturn, more Aquarius energy. Okay. And it shouldn't surprise you that the sign that we talked about the most was Aquarius. Now, I don't think I've ever seen something come out. I'm sure I have, but it's not typical for one sign to come out over and over again in someone's reading unless it's somehow meaningful. So there could be the Pluto and Aquarius thing that's going on, which really makes sense because you are ruled by Pluto and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus and Saturn, what we talked about. Pluto is now ripping through Aquarius, creating changes that need to be made. Things that you have been sort of, I guess I see that, but I don't want to see it. Yeah, that's not a strong enough structure, but you're going to be forced to look at things during this time here, Scorpio for sure. Yeah, I wish you all the luck. This is a great reading and very interesting as always, and I always enjoy doing Scorpio readings. I will see you next time, and namaste.